Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 6 of our F1 22 Haas Road to Glory. Technically actually round 5 of the year, but episode 6 of this series, sprint races, are going to make things incredibly messy on F1 22. But speaking of, if you missed out the last video from Imola, the 2 races there, absolute carnage. Would definitely recommend going back and checking them out. And a massive thank you as well to all of you guys for the insane and continued support on F1 22. You know, if you're not already, please do make sure you get yourself subscribed to the channel. Trying to hit 70,000 subscribers at the moment, and of course aiming for the big goal of 100k by the end of the year. But heading then into round 5 of the year here from the Miami Grand Prix. Fingers crossed this weekend we can try and continue on the good run of form. Sadly, Imola, didn't quite go the way I wanted when all is said and done there, but we've still got a lot of upgrades in the works currently. Championship-wise, Charles Leclerc still leads the way. They're on 53 points ahead of Verstappen and Carlos Sainz. We're now up to 4th place, ahead of Sergio Perez and Lewis Hamilton there, with Alonso and Zhou Guanyu not far behind either. It has been an unpredictable start to the campaign here in this Haas Road to Glory career mode. And Miami, a new Formula 1 circuit, I'm sure that pattern is set to continue this weekend. Let's get into qualifying then here from Formula 1's newest racetrack. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. Right, well here we are then, back in Haas country for round 5 of the year here. But to be honest, I kind of forgot Miami was a home Grand Prix weekend for Haas. One very much to forget, at least I can remember, for Mick Schumacher. But let's wait and see then what we can do in qualifying today. Similar conditions to how Imola ended, to be honest. So trying not to get too much PTSD as we start our first qualifying lap. I think the track is just meant to deteriorate as the session goes on. So we're going to try and get in a couple of nice tidy laps early on. And fingers crossed, spot our way around this circuit there. Very tricky actually in the dry to put the power down through some places. And even more so in the wet, as that is immediately going to ruin a first lap. Charles Leclerc sets the pace down on a 1:35.6 as out of the final corner as we go. Definitely not going to beat that time by Charles. We do a 37.4. Puts us between Tsunoda and Stroll early on. Going to try and go for another lap there, but I don't think we've got really any battery to do anything this time round. Might just have to sit this lap out there as we try and navigate our way through the first sector. You can just see how it's the back end fights. Yeah, we're going to save the ERS and then try to go for another run. So yeah, just have to remember to try and save some fuel over the course of this lap. Still got about 1.3 laps worth when we get back round to the start-finish line, so should just be able to squeeze out one more lap out of the car there as we're going to turn the ERS back on. Only got half a charge, but should be enough around this Miami circuit, especially in the wet, to be honest. For a lot of the first sector, I don't actually want the battery. It doesn't really gain us anything, and just gives us a lot more instant torque, and therefore a lot of instant wheel spin to worry about. As you can just see there, dancing our way through the early curbs. A 10th up, just avoiding using the battery there, and the same can be said through these next couple of turns. Obviously you have to turn it on down the straight, otherwise it's just free time going to waste. As we navigate our way over the curbing. So far this second lap, bit of an improvement there, and of course, no battery means we tend to be able to put the power down a little bit nicer there, so we're going to try and utilise that to the best of our ability here. And you can see already 3/10 up through the first part of the lap. And again, just through this middle sector there, you just hear the car trying to put the power down out onto the back straight. Maybe a little bit late putting back on the ERS there as George Russell now goes fastest onto a 35.8. If we can keep this lap together, we should be able to get down in towards the high 36s, so not too far away. There's braking on just 100 metre off there. Front left wants to lock up through the final couple of turns, but hopefully we can put the power down. As you just see there, again, struggling with the wheel spin. 4/10 up though, pretty much going to be a 37 flat. We go 6th, alongside our teammate Mick Schumacher. The pace is good this weekend. but we have got an engine warning light come up. Which one is it? It is the gearbox, so we should be able to survive this weekend. Well, about to head out then for our final run here in qualifying. Schumacher's still up in 6th place there. Bottas, though, has gone between me and my teammate. But fingers crossed we can try and improve then as we head out through the final traction zone. About to start our last lap of qualifying here. We're going to really try and be careful with that battery again, as it definitely gives us a little bit of free time in these tricky conditions here, but need to concentrate on this final run, as we can definitely improve there. Is nice and tidy on the brakes through turn 1, avoid the curbing through turn 2 and turn 3, and another 10th and a half found there as we head out of the first sector. I think the track is getting slightly quicker at the moment, as everyone around me just finding a little bit more time, so we've got to be careful. We have to get this lap in, otherwise we're going to fall way down the order there, as through the next couple of turns, all nice and tidy. A little bit of understeer there, but we can get back on the power, out onto the back straight, and another 3/10 up at the moment. We've had quite a few heroic last lap efforts in qualifying already this season. Are we about to see another one today as we head down the back straight here in Miami? Try and make sure we get the car spotted just for the 100-meter board there, down into this next hairpin. Broke way too early last time round, and that's another 10th of a second found there. Has hugged the wall through this next sector there, just nudged the wall on the inside. It's going to upset my rhythm slightly, but we'll try not to let it get to me too much there. Oh, attack the curbs a little bit too much. A little bit of wheel spin, and that's going to throw away some time as we head out in towards the final sector of the lap here. Get really early on the battery, though. Once again, there as we manage the wheel spin. One more traction zone to go, and we're pretty much even at the moment. It'll only take a 10th of a second, and that could really bolster us up the order here in qualifying for the Miami Grand Prix. Spot the braking at just for the 100-meter board there. Struggle to get the car slowed down through the final traction zone, but we do get on the power nice and tidy out of the final turn. We are going to improve, but it's only going to be by fractions. Still good enough for 8th, though. Half a 10th, 3 places. I'll have that, thank you very much. I mean, look at that for fine margins there. Zhou Guanyu up in 6th place, after maybe on the high after his win last weekend there. Perez clearly with issues, way down the order. But yeah, a 10th and a half separated 6th down to 12th in qualifying here for Miami there. The Alfa Romeo starting 6th ahead of Alonso, then both Haas cars there. Tsunoda, Bottas and Esteban Ocon there. So both Alfa Romeos, both Alpines, the Alfa Tauri, and of course both Haas cars as well. But yeah, going to be a big fight then for the lower end of point tier today. Sergio Perez didn't set a time in qualifying, so I reckon he's got grid penalties. Let's get into it then here for the Miami Grand Prix. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
Welcome to the Miami International Autodrome, home of the Miami Grand Prix. This exciting track circumnavigates the Hard Rock Stadium, home to the National Football League outfit, the Miami Dolphins. Well, it's certainly not sunny here in the Sunshine State. A lap of the Miami Grand Prix features 19 corners and 3.36 miles of track around the Hard Rock Stadium. But these conditions should prove especially difficult for all of our drivers today. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Hamilton, Max Verstappen and Zhou, Fernando Alonso, Mr. Monaco, Mick Schumacher and Yuki Tsunoda, Bottas, Ocon, Pierre Gasly and Norris, Ricciardo, Vettel, Alex Albon and Lance Stroll, Latifi, and Sergio Perez completes our grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And alongside me once again for coverage of today's race is none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Let's begin by talking about Guan Yu Zhou. That was a great win in the last race, but can they keep that momentum going into this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
This is the team's home race. We're all relying on you to impress today.
Right, well here we are then on the grid, ready for the Miami GP. Round 5 of the year here, and safe to say it's going to be a very, very slip-slidey start. Opposite race conditions to last weekend. It should get dry in the second half of the afternoon, but just need to keep it clean and tidy early on here. New track for everybody. Of course, we've already done one race round here in the My Team career mode, but yeah, fingers crossed early on we just stay out of trouble. Then, of course, starting it off with a formation lap in damp conditions. That's going to be really, really difficult to try and get these cars away. The start means more than ever of Fernando Alonso this time round, seemingly very, very slow on the formation lap there as we try and put some heat into the rears. Yeah, weirdly enough, of course, Zhou Guanyu and Fernando Alonso, the two cars starting right in front of me, are of course our two big rivals throughout a lot of last weekend's race at Imola. Are we going to see a repeat of that today? As heading out down towards the start-finish line, need to try and put as much heat in the rubber as we can. And if that's not going to help us, I don't know what will. There, huge burnout as we head up towards the start line. Perfect little stop.
Parking there, nice one. That's going to give you the edge if you can get good launch as the race starts.
I won't get a good launch though, Mark. We know how this works.
Will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with a clutch.
Ready then here for the Miami Grand Prix, round 5 of the year here. Can we keep it clean and tidy off the start? Don't want many revs at all. Ready on the launch. 5 red lights. And it is going to be lights out, and away we go there, and almost hit the anti-stall that time around as we try and put the power down towards turn 1. Second phase, though, actually quite good. We'll have a look at the inside of Alonso down at turn 1 there as there's contact everywhere just up in front. A big 5 at the start of this Grand Prix as Alonso tried to slam the door, and I say no thank you. We'll just keep our foot wedged in there, and we have made up one place then off the start. Doesn't happen too often on F1 22, but this time round we will absolutely have it, thank you very much. And maybe Alonso is going to spend another weekend looking at the back of a Haas car here, but hopefully we can try and fire up these tyres quite quickly. Often struggle in dry conditions to get heat into the rubber, but maybe if everyone else struggles, the Haas might come into its own a bit as we head out onto the back straight for the first time in this Grand Prix. Yeah, I think the key today, I mean, if Zhou Guanyu can hang on to the front runners early on, that would be quite an impressive feat. As Hamilton relegated down to 5th place there behind Max Verstappen. George Russell, though, still leads the way for Mercedes. Is very, very late on the brakes on this opening lap. They're trying to fight the rear end as we head through this technical low-speed middle sector there. Just no grip whatsoever, especially in the dry, and even more so in the rain as we navigate our way over the curbs. Oh, Zhou Guanyu, a little bit of a slip-up. Oh, this is going to get tight on lap 1 there as we try to have a look up the inside. A little bit of contact on the way out there as I tried to put the power down. But there we go then, up 1 place off the start here in Miami as Fernando Alonso thought about trying to have a look for a run around the outside there. We've got the overspeed though on Zhou Guanyu as well. Alonso again thinks about it. Can we go late on the brakes around the outside of Zhou? Running very, very wide into the corner there. We just about avoid the wall. Alonso will say thank you very much. And at the end of lap 1 then, we haven't gained, haven't lost anything there. We're still desperate to try and put the power down out of the final corner. Now we're under pressure from our teammate Mick Schumacher. Haven't seen much of him so far this year. As big lock up by Mick into turn 1. So we will hang on. No, we won't. Mick Schumacher trying to come back at me on the exit. Now we will hang on to P8 then in this Grand Prix there. See Alonso up the road. Really kicks the back end out, trying to put the power down. Crazy starts here in Miami, but we've hung on to it and somehow we're all where we started. I mean, the AI seem to really struggle through this technical middle sector there. We're all over the back of Alonso once more. But yeah, I guess the real question early on here is when are we going to see the transfer over to the dry tyres? Sergio Perez trying to pick his way through the order just behind. So he might still get close to us by the end of this Grand Prix. Very, very weird that technically early on in this season, we are actually in a championship battle with Sergio Perez. I mean, we're not that far away from the title lead, Charles Leclerc. As, yeah, already 4 races in. And Charles Leclerc leads the way on, what, 53 points? You could pretty much match that score in half the Grand Prix. That's how unpredictable the start of this year has been. I certainly agree with that one, Mark. Definitely not ready enough yet for dry tyres. As still, we seem to have such a big advantage over the AI through this chicane now. Might be able to have a look past Fernando Alonso on the exit. Oh, we actually get a warning for track limits there. Must have just gone over the white line as we tried to put the power down. You can see every time through there we try and get a nice run. AI around the outside though can just about hang on, as this time around we're going to use a bit more battery. Try to have a look maybe to the inside of the Alpine. Is he going to go defensive? Yes, he is, Alonso. Sure, trying to repeat the favour that we did to him last weekend, as maybe around the outside we'll try and go out of the final corner. Alonso has to give me the room, but he will just about hang on to the position for now then, as I'm definitely not going to stop onto another set of intermediates here. We are definitely just going to be making the move onto dries, as up the inside of Alonso we go. That was always optimistic, maybe a little bit too late. We just about get it slowed down between the white lines though. Oh, very, very close there, as Mark speaking a bit too soon. Might still be able to get the run off the corner there as the Alpine really tries to chop off my nose. We're still side by side though with Alonso around the outside in towards the next couple of corners. As all again very, very close to contact there. Can we do the old up and under though? Through the next couple of turns, it's allowing Zhou Guanyu to get away, but we send it up the inside. And that will finally be the move done then between myself and Fernando there. Brilliant little battle. But yeah, it has given Zhou Guanyu about a 3-second margin. But if we can get a nice tidy run through the chicane once more, which we have been doing pretty much every lap so far, unless Alonso comes back at me. To the outside he has a look. Yeah, hopefully now. Oh, that's very, very wide again. We're going to head side by side still into the middle sector. Just keep it clean. Keep the power down. Yeah, maybe now if we can get a tidy run through here again. Alonso. Oh, won't be close enough, as that was not the tidy run I had in mind there. Big, big kick of oversteer. And we're still going to be under pressure from the Alpine. Right, well, far enough ahead now of Fernando Alonso that I don't think we've got to worry about him for at least a few laps.
1.9 seconds. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 2.3 seconds.
Gap to Zhou Guanyu in front of us coming down slightly. We still want to prove ourselves as best of the rest early on in this game there. But Zhou Guanyu, yeah, clearly riding high after the race victory last time round. Track definitely starting to get a bit drier. Like I said, I don't want to make a move onto another set of inters between now and when the dry period does arrive. It's just a case of whether the AI will. You can just see, yeah, through some corners we take a lot out of Zhou Guanyu, and then others the gap all goes the other way again. But trying to keep it tidy and consistent. Alonso now, yeah, that's second back, as the rain is pretty much stopped here, so can't be long before we make the change. Oh, Zhou Guanyu! He's just looped it around by himself there, maybe trying to push to stay ahead of myself, and that's the first big driver error I've seen happen in front of me on F122. There, Zhou Guanyu loops it round by himself there here in Miami, and now we're up to best of the rest. 10 seconds the gap to Hamilton up the road, and now with a couple of seconds to Alonso behind. But Zhou Guanyu, he's now down to last place then, here in Miami. Not what he needed, as we get towards 1/3 distance. Oh, we've got more yellow flags out. Someone's got issues. I think it's a McLaren again on F122. Or is it Daniel Ricciardo who might be dropping to the wayside here in Miami? Yes, it is. Ricciardo out of this Grand Prix on just lap 10 there. And I know I've said it so many times. Oh, we got another one. Are we about to see a safety car then? I think it's Bottas who might be going slowly now as well, though. I think we're going to get a safety car. Ready for this? If you get two retirements next to each other, it's often been a safety car so far on this game. And Bottas looking like he's slowing down here in Miami as well. There is now Alonso getting a little bit closer. Bottas retires, and I'm going to look like a mug now because I've said that. Oh, there we go. Safety car deployed here in Miami. I think it's... Is it still too damp to make the call? I think, yeah, it's still definitely too early to make a pit call, though. Still a bit too slippery here in Miami. So having a look at the current race order, George Russell still leads the way ahead of Sainz and Charles Leclerc. Of course, Leclerc still leading the way in the championship. Verstappen and Hamilton still 4th and 5th. So it hasn't been much movement towards the front of the field there. Ocon now up into the points, as Perez has made good progress up into 13th place, with Zhou Guanyu, yeah, now filling up the order, but not a million miles away from the dry tyres here. But think we're going to need a couple more laps after the safety car before we can even consider it. Alright, safety car back in then. George Russell's going to lead the way out of the final corner. As are we going to be able to try and put the power down behind Lewis Hamilton. Rain, yeah, has definitely stopped now as we start lap 13 of this Grand Prix. But there is still a long way to go before the dry period. Up the inside of 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. down in turn 1 there. It was a bit of an accidental move, as we just squeezed the Mercedes out there very, very close to contact. But that is a power play of the restart. I'm sure Hamilton will be absolutely fuming about that one, because it was very, very aggressive there. I mean, like I said in an episode a couple of days ago, we might have replaced Kevin Magnussen in the sport, but we've certainly tried to keep his aggressive driving style in play at the moment there, as up past the Mercedes we go. And I'm in a P5 now of this race. I don't think we're going to stay here for very long. I may as well savour the moment whilst we can there. Jump in a Mercedes off the safety car restart here. Is Hamilton going to try and come back at me? Alonso's now looking for a move on the Merc. Is Alonso now going to be able to try and get a move done on his former teammate Lewis Hamilton there? They're very, very close together. In towards the middle sector they go, and surely Hamilton should be able to hang on to this one for now. He's still in front. I think, yes, he has just about done so. There's a little bit of slip there once more from the rear end, but it'll give us a little bit of margin over Hamilton behind. Like I said, the real question is, when are we going to move on to dries? That's going to answer the question. Then the team think about now, as Hamilton going to try and return the favour down at turn 1. We're going to be aware of it, squeeze him, but we do just about give him enough room on the inside there. As team want us in at the end of this lap. It still feels a little bit slippery out here, but I suppose if other cars do it, we may as well. We learnt the hard way in Imola. You have to follow what the AI do.
Okay.
It's Hamilton now surely going to get a run on me as we head down the back straight. New strat available by the team. They want us to do soft medium to the end. That's definitely not the way I want to go there, as Hamilton looks past me, covers me off into the corner. A bit of contact with both Hamilton and Alonso there. That was not part of the plan. Down into the final sector, as I don't really want to go onto softs. Might gamble it on a set of mediums though, if we reckon they can do half a race distance to the end, if they're going to be a bit quicker than the hards. But yeah, getting a little bit worried that everyone else around me is going to go for a completely different strategy there. We learned actually in the My Team series at Baku, when the AI are doing soft medium, often it doesn't pay to go on the hard tyres here, so we might actually be worth trying to stay out on the mediums. If they make it to the end, brilliant. If they don't, then we'll just hopefully be quick right towards the end of the Grand Prix there. Are we going to see everyone else into the pit lane then? Yes, we are. Everyone in front of me into the pits as we wallop the wall, heading out of the final proper corner. Get the car slowed down. Only just there, as Ocon going to lead the way ahead of Mick Schumacher. DRS has been enabled though, so I don't think we're going to get an overcut in this Grand Prix there, as there is the Red Bull of Verstappen just behind me. Good entry into the pit lane, please, no issues. 2.3, yes please, and we'll be ahead of Hamilton again. Look at that, happy with that one as we head out of the pit lane. So ridiculously difficult on cold rubber there, but everyone else as well going on to mediums, so maybe we haven't done a stupid plan this time. That's what I like to see. Now we've got to get out and make sure we don't get an overcut. Right, everyone else into the pit lane then, as Hamilton gaining as we head down the back straight. Hamilton up the inside he goes. Are we going to be able to hang on to it around the outside there? I'm sure Hamilton, not my biggest fan at this stage of the career mode. So we go side by side through the final couple of turns there. The Mercedes just got that little bit more power, that little bit more straight line speed, and I'm sure Alonso is thinking, how can he get back involved with this one? There's a bit of a lock up down at turn 1 there, and that might invite Alonso for a move. There is Lando Norris. Where's he come from? Contact now with Alonso. Lando Norris really slow through the next couple of corners there. But yeah, Mick up now into 5th place here in Miami, so he has really done a good job there. But of course on the cold rubber, gonna struggle as Lando Norris now. Yeah, he's really boosted his way up into the points here. Weren't expecting that from Lando earlier on in the afternoon. McLaren have struggled for pace this weekend once again. Of course, reliability as well has never been their strong point, as Hamilton tries to make a move on my teammate. But if Mick can come in clutch at the moment, is where am I off? Down the end of the back straight there. That's not going to be a good rejoin. Lando Norris, I sincerely apologise there, but to be fair, we weren't given anywhere else to really go. Let's go on, Mick. Defend like a lion. So here comes the other Alpine of Esteban Ocon now around the outside as we head back down towards turn 1. Going to try and return the favour. Again, that's very, very aggressive there in front of Esteban Ocon. We're desperately trying to hang on to places at the moment, as a drying track always used to be my strong point on the F1 games, but now seems to be one of my greatest weaknesses on F1 22. Really just struggle through the traction zones here. As, I mean, yeah, traction much more difficult to find on F1 22 anyway. But the AI just seem to have a... Well, I mean, they're AI. They have a sixth sense over it. They're computers. They can do it perfectly every time. They've just got traction control, simply put. But Mick Schumacher still in 5th place at the moment. He needs a big result this weekend. Oh, as here comes Ocon once more down in towards the final corner. The Alpine's just going to try and get in front of me there and sit on the apex of the corner. And Ocon now up in a P9 of this race. Really feel like we're struggling at the moment. No idea why. But now Lando Norris just behind us once again there. Luckily didn't actually get damage from the contact that we had. But yeah, we are really now trying to fight a losing battle. Want to try and keep the point streak alive that we've had since the start of the season. But this is going to be tough. Let's look at this. Alonso and Mick side by side. It's Alpine versus Haas here in Miami. There is whistle all over the back of Esteban Ocon. So a brilliant little battle for best of the rest at the moment between us two teams. But it looks like Alpine are just getting the better of us at the moment, as we're going to use a lot of battery down the back straightaway. There goes Mick Schumacher again, though, on Fernando Alonso, with just 12 laps to go here from round 5 of the season. Is Alonso going to get it stopped in time? There's a little bit of contact between the pair of them. Ocon now just waiting in the wings, and I think we've just got to be patient at this point of the Grand Prix there. Great to see Mick getting his elbows out, as he might just make the move back down towards turn 1. One of Formula 1's most experienced drivers going up against one of his least. But this time round, youth beats out experience. Alonso's going to try it again, though, down the back straight to the outside of Mick Schumacher once more. Are we going to see a second lap of these two going side by side through the middle sector here, through this tight, twisty section? Alonso this time around, I think he has pulled off the move entirely there, and Ocon just having to slot back in behind there. Didn't really think about trying to send a cheeky move up on Esteban Ocon, but he just covered that one off. Whether it was on purpose or not, I don't really know. But we have just got no battery at this stage of the day there, and we probably should have brought the rear wing down by, the front wing down by a couple of clicks when we pit there. As here comes Lando Norris, top end speed really lacking at the moment. Schumacher and Alonso again, as Lando Norris wanted to try and cut back up the inside. I'm going to go around the outside of Lando through the final corner there. Use where the wall opens up slightly. Lando gets caught out a bit on the curbs there, as we're going to be side by side over the line. Pretty much neck and neck there as we cross over the line. But here comes Tsunoda. Where's he come from? As we head back down in through turn 1 there, somehow down the middle, finding the gap once more. This is brilliant midfield racing here in Miami. The new fans, I'm sure, loving this. Well, times are continuing to tumble then as we head into the final few laps here of the Miami Grand Prix, and we're just trying to hang on to Esteban Ocon, Mick Schumacher and Fernando Alonso here. This is a brilliant battle between Haas and Alpine here. El Plan versus El Recovery, as we've just dropped Tsunoda by over the 1 second mark over the last couple of laps. So clearly us two teams have just got that little bit more over them at the moment. But Perez now still slowly sneaking his way back up the group. If he gets ahead of them, he could still get to us by the end of the Grand Prix. Very, very happy that we didn't go on to a set of hards, because of course that would have pretty much put us out of contention here late on in the afternoon. It's just look how much more confidence we've got through there each time through. But yeah, I did honestly think the AI though would pit once more before the end here, as Charles Leclerc has now jumped George Russell for the lead of this Grand Prix. But I thought we'd see them do medium softs, and I could try and maybe sneak a good result here by staying out to the end. But I think everyone on the same strategy. 4 laps to go then here from Miami, and at the moment we are just hanging on to P9. I don't think we've really got the pace to challenge the cars in front here, but Tsunoda still just dropping back ever so slightly behind. There we go, that just confirms it to me. But yeah, at the moment though, we're only really getting the DRS actually on the Alpine through the back straightaway there, which is definitely the DRS zone I'd rather get it on. But yeah, we're just trying to hang on late on in the day here. There'll be more points on the board. Not quite what I'd want there in P9, but you got to take the rough with the smooth. Into the final 2 laps then here from Miami, just trying to use a little bit more battery, as we seem to be picking up the DRS a few more times now around the lap once again. That's a lot of curb through turn 1, but we get away with it. Yeah, don't still believe we're quite going to be able to challenge Ocon on this final couple of laps, but may as well try and be there. You know, maybe if he goes for a move on Mick that doesn't work out, then we can still try and slip by, sneak away a couple of extra points here. I would be very happy if we could. Oh, I think everyone's tyres just starting to go though right towards the end of this Miami Grand Prix there, so you can just see how much time we gain through the second half of the lap. But one more to go then here in Miami. It looks like Charles Leclerc is going to walk away here with the race victory. George Russell's first win in Formula 1. just going to have to wait a little bit longer, but nice to see Mercedes slowly getting their issues sorted out there. George's had such a difficult start to the campaign. Be good for him to be back on the podium here as we head through this S section for the final time here. Must admit, do really enjoy the Miami Grand Prix circuit. Oh, that's a little bit wide there though. But we'll get away with it. Sometimes you find a lot of understeer if you run wide out over there, but still going to try and keep a little bit of battery ready for the back straight. I think the only thing we can really do is hope that we're close enough to walk on. Hope we gain enough time through the technical section, and then maybe we can go for something. Mick Schumacher, though, trying to just get that little bit closer to Fernando Alonso. He might be able to try and make something happen down the back straight on the final lap here in Miami. It's been a brilliant race-long battle between Haas and Alpine in the battle for best of the rest. You can just see how much curb we're willing to take there, try and muscle our way to the outside of Esteban Ocon. He parks the bus off the corner there. We get a lot of wheel spin as we try and put the power down. Charles Leclerc, he will come through to win here in Miami there, but Ocon might just have done enough. He got the elbows out down the back straight there. I think there's been a drag race to the line between Verstappen and Carlos Sainz, but Alonso's just about going to hang on. Both Alpines are going to hang on with late battles with the individual Haas cars there, but through the final corner is P9 in the end. We'll take more points.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Then a phenomenal Miami Grand Prix, and what a great show of skill from our race winners today. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Here come our winners now, a thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again. So let's review the drivers' standings. Charles Leclerc, currently leading the championship standings, extends his lead even further with this result. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Well, you can't fault anything that Sergio Perez did out on the track today. He drove flawlessly, making him an easy pick.
Let's move on to the constructors. Ferrari continue to extend the gap at the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the Mercedes team today as they make their way up the standings. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys, the end of the Miami GP, and it is Charles Leclerc and Ferrari that walk away with the dub. George Russell, P2 there, another fine return to form for him, ahead of Max Verstappen and Carlos Sainz there. Hamilton, and then both Alpines and both Haas cars with Yuki Tsunoda rounding out the points there. Just Bottas and Ricciardo, who both didn't make it to the checkered flag. Bottas has had a rough run of races over the last couple of weekends there. But championship standings, unfortunately, you know, we were a little bit too high up the order early on. Hamilton and Alonso both jumped back past me there, but only 1 point between us and Alonso as Sergio Perez still stuck, now down in 7th place there. George Russell leapfrogs his way up the order with his first big points haul of the year. Mick Schumacher as well now, up at a P16, as yeah, I forgot every single driver, of course, has scored early on in this campaign. Constructors-wise, though, everyone moves back past Alfa Romeo after a, well, technically and, yeah, rather brutally, a pointless weekend for them. Ferrari still lead the way, though, 37 clear of Red Bull, who are a further 24 now clear of Mercedes, and just 4 points between us and Alpine, and 4 points between us and Alfa Romeo as well. That battle, I'm sure, is going to rage on throughout the entirety of this season. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we will will return very, very soon with more F1 22 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.